Welcome to the fourth episode, I believe it is.
Counting.
They have, believe it or not filmed back to back. I haven't been just drinking the entire time. I generally forgot for a second how many episodes we've done, but this is the fourth one, and I'm joined by Harry Shaw. I will get you to introduce yourself in a moment, but it is customary to start the podcast that we cheers the mojitos.
Absolutely, thank you.
And we take a good swig, so let me know what you think.
Yeah.
Mine is exceptionally strong.
Mine's not as strong then, I think.
No,
or I'm an alcoholic. One or the other.
I did yours slightly weaker because, safety first. You have to operate a large, heavy goods vehicle, a car.
There's
you
a
have
car.
to drive a car.
There's a car to drive home. Yes.
Yes. Whereas I live here, so this is the start of my weekend.
It's quite a walk back, though. Sure, it's through the door.
Yeah, well, I do have to go outside through the garden. So, it's quite a trek, but... I should manage. I may need another one or two just to psych me up for the journey.
I think so. That's fine.
Yeah, it's highly likely. But yeah. So for everyone listening, introduce yourself. Tell us who you are.
I am Harry Shaw. I am known as the tattoo golf coach. Why? Everyone asks. You don't know in the winter, do you?
No.
No one has a clue. No. So a golfer covered in tattoos. There we go. Job done. Intro. Nailed it.
Excellent. And for the benefit of those listening who may not follow you on socials, what's your handle? What's your Instagram?
I am the tattoo golf coach. It keeps things nice and easy, doesn't it?
It's really straightforward.
The one and only, nailed it.
Yeah, that's the same with mine. Everybody's always like, "What's your Instagram?" And you get Satball Andrews PT. Yeah. What about your TikTok? Yeah, it's the same.
You got in there early though. That means no one else has claimed it. No little dodgy lines on there, and just the bots that come and get you.
Yeah, 100%. Harry and I go way back, to be honest with you. Behind him, if you're watching on YouTube, if you're not watching on YouTube, behind him is an irrelevant statement, but behind him is a AFC Wimborne shirt, and that's how we first met when I was running a Sunday League team, and you came down as a rapid winger.
Oh, that was a long time ago.
It was a long time ago.
Rapid winger. Look at that.
Transitioned to become a goalkeeper.
That's it. But I think one of these shirts you actually wore. I think this one here. I do remember this one.
Yeah, that is the one that you would have worn when you first joined.
I must have been, 21.
I reckon so. Well, I started Wimborne, it was well over 10 years ago now, because it came up on Facebook. Yeah. And we got a 10-year anniversary of something that happened with Wimborne, and I was like, Jesus, that wasn't even the start. Made me feel horribly old. But yeah, so we played in a Sunday League team. That's how we met. You were... as we said, a rapid winger at the time, and things have changed. I didn't even know you liked golf at the time. Somehow
that might have been a position when I wasn't playing golf. To be fair,
yeah,
that could have been that time where they'd knocked that on the head and back to football and run around after a ball.
Yeah, well, let's get into it. Your golf journey, because obviously for those listening, Harry he's a golf pro. He's my coach. He's a very good coach, and we'll touch upon golf coaching and the world of that shortly, I'm sure. But yeah, tell us about your journey, mate. How did you get into golf and becoming a pro? Because at one point this was actually something I wanted to do.
Okay.
In my teens.
I didn't know that actually.
And
no.
it never happened.
Well, we're making the run now, though, aren't we?
We are. I'm practically a pro now.
You're a range pro.
Yeah.
Aren't you? So
100%, mate. 100%.
But as we said to you, if you want to be a pro, you declare yourself as a pro, and you're a pro.
Mate, well, I'll do it now. I'm a pro.
There you go.
I'm a pro. There you
Amateur
go.
status has gone. You're a pro now. So
100%.
There's membership fees involved now and all of that. Yeah, but.
Oh, yeah. I'm probably not a pro then.
Take that one back. No, you're all good. My journey, crikey. I got into golf when I was about 6. So I was that weird kid at school that played golf because golf wasn't cool 26 years ago.
It wasn't cool 30 years ago either, mate.
It was only cool like 5 years ago. I think it's come into the kind of run of it. But no, I went to kids' classes with my brother. I think my stepdad took us down. I don't remember a huge amount of it. I barely remember what I did yesterday half the time. So.
Same.
Went there for kids' lessons. I think I realised I was quite good at maybe the age of kind of 11, 12.
Yeah.
And then you've got to make that call from football and golf. I had more opportunities in golf, so I kind of ran with that through county England setups. The sad truth, you hit 18, 19, you find alcohol and women in nightclubs. And waking up for golf in the morning isn't the best thing in the world. So...
Yeah, I hear you there. Very similar, to be fair. My granddad and my dad got me into golf because my old man had an opportunity to turn pro when he was much younger. He was playing off scratch, and it was quite an expensive investment at the time, and wasn't in a position to go pro. But golf has always been like very much in the family. So I remember being taken to like Moores Valley for like summer clubs, and both me and my brother being dragged along and being told these two look really good. They look like natural golfers, and I think I was about 7 or 8 playing off of like an 18 handicap, and was actually all right at the game. My issue was as with everything in my younger years, was my temperament. I had the worst temper and gave up too easily. My tennis career never took off because I would celebrate a good shot rather than a winning shot. So I'd hit a shot over the net and be like, that was great. Do a little celebration, by which time the ball's gone back past me. Yeah. Golf, my issue was if it didn't go dead straight and it didn't go in the hole first time from putting, clubs went flying. That was it. Lost interest, had a sulk. So yeah, it was, for me, it was a bit difficult. And then I stopped playing. My granddad got poorly, so I used to play a lot with my granddad. So obviously when he passed away, I didn't really play for a long time. Started playing again in my teens as a member at Dudsbury during sixth form, because I dropped. When I was in sixth form, you were only supposed to be allowed to drop 1 lesson, but somehow I got away with dropping 2. So it meant that on a 2-week cycle, I had about, out of every 10 days at school, I had about 5 or 6 days where I had no lessons. So I used to go and sign in the morning so I get paid my EMA payments of 90 quid a week or whatever it was, and then I'd fuck off and go and play golf all day.
Yeah, I like that's a good day.
And I got quite good, and I started to think I was going to become a pro or a teaching pro, and I spoke to the pros at Dudsbury about it, and they started to map out what the journey looked like, and it sounded fucking difficult, if I'm honest. And I was with my ex at the time, and she lived up near London and I lived down in Dorset, and I was like, can't be bothered. and the dream died for me at that point. But yeah, it's I think golf's one of those things, a bit like with football. If you're good at it, you have to dedicate everything from minute one. It's not one of those sports. I don't think there's too many sports really where you can kind of find your way into it. And later, darts maybe. There seems to be people that come out of the woodwork and darts all the time that are like, he's playing his first tournament, he's 59. But aside from questionable pub sports, I don't think there's too many sports out there that you can turn pro without putting a lot of dedication in. So what was your journey? Obviously we got to your early 20s. We
got to my drinking stage.
You started drinking and playing Sunday League instead.
That's it. Yeah, made the shift back to football.
What happened there?
Which I loved. Yeah. You're totally right. I think with any sport, you've got to dedicate yourself, and you just got to do more than everyone else. And what you think is more isn't enough. Yeah. So you go on and on. I've met some fantastic golfers and sportsmen, and they are just built differently. Brains are different. It comes to the mental health stuff. It comes all to how much willpower you've got. As you said, same as me, a bad shot, club's gone, you're off, you're not interested, rather than these good players in any sport. They crack on, they get on with it, and it's amazing how quick that can shift over their head. Yeah,
that mental resilience that's required for any top level athlete, because again, that it's not even just the disappointment like in golf of a bad shot, missed putt, shit drive. It's playing amazing and being beaten by somebody who was just a little bit luckier on the day.
Yep.
It could be as simple as that, and you see it all the time in competitions and stuff on TV where people are going around and after 4 days of competition they're like 20 under par and they don't win.
Yep.
And you go, I've never finished around 1 under par, let alone be 20 under par after a few days and still not win. And it's like, how do you fucking get up the next day and go again? And it, like you said, it's that mental resilience. So what brought you back to golf? Because you started obviously from a football perspective, Sunday League, and then you started doing pretty well from a football perspective as a goalkeeper.
I've lived my life backwards.
Yeah.
Like absolute bonkers. I'm 32 now, so you should be retiring from football and now playing golf. But I've gone from playing football to golf to this. I've retired from golf and football hundreds of times already. Back and forth there. But now I needed the break when I was kind of that 20. Golf wasn't cool. Golf was boring. Golf had too many rules, had that stigma behind it. I was in trouble all the time on the golf courses, from tattoos to the wrong clothing to the wrong attitude to the wrong hairstyle. I've been banned from golf clubs for wearing hoods and banned from dodgy haircuts, and nothing's changed. It's still dodgy.
We're going to come on to this.
It's now acceptable, which is great. So I just took a step out. I've plenty of stories from the golf world, which I won't go into too much depth just yet, but there's a lot that just knocked down, thinking this isn't for me. So got back to Sunday League football, which is bonkers. But I used to be pretty quick, so I played on the wing, never really enjoyed it, and I always loved playing in goal. But I'm a midget.
Yeah.
Mate, I'm not a tall goalkeeper.
Our stories are unbelievably similar. Expected golf proteges of our younger years developed a keen likeness for drinking and socialising, which lends itself to Sunday League football, and played in goal. I've always been a goalkeeper. Again, thanks to my old man, he was a goalkeeper. So I think it was one of those that the minute he had 2 boys, it was like 2 goalkeepers. And I've played on pitch in my younger years before my body gave up on me, which happened surprisingly early in life for me. My injury record was fucking abysmal. I spent more time injured. I ran a Sunday League team for 10 years, and I reckon an accumulated total, 5 of those seasons were probably missed through injury.
You kept going though, so that's impressive.
Absolutely, mate. When you run the team, you don't have to fight for your place when you're fit again. You just pick yourself and piss everyone else off. You just go, guys, I'm fit, I'm back. Oh, but this other guy's doing really well. Yeah, well, that's a shame.
Yeah, I'm back now, and no, definitely. But no, I love playing in goal, and it was never like, even at school. I remember as a kid, I was always the first one in goal, always this, and I was terrified of 11-a-side goals. I think when you get into that age category, because I'm not tall, and no one looks at you in that way. Being a goalkeeper, you're too small, too this. So I just didn't do it.
Yeah.
And then I got back into football again. Probably only 6 years ago. Played in goal and absolutely loved it. And everyone was like, "Where have you played?" It's like, "Oh, it's my first time." So Happy Gilmore.
Yeah.
And it's like, "Oh, why have you not played?" It's like, "Because I'm too short." I don't care. It's amazing again how things change.
Yeah, it's crazy. And again, I think the evolution of football in general and the position of goalkeeper in terms of what's expected, even at lower leagues and lower levels, it's become a little bit less about being a tall commanding goalkeeper, and it's about being a footballer, which didn't help me massively because I was a shit footballer. An excellent goalkeeper. We'll put that one on record.
We'll keep that one.
Sensational. People have genuinely said to me, this is what I've heard. It's not what they said, but it's how I took it. If I was taller, I would have been probably one of the best.
The ifs and buts, I heard it. But we pulled you out of retirement this year. Didn't you? You made a stint at the Bournemouth ground. We were there. Yeah.
I played really well.
I was impressed.
Played really well.
You have to be very impressed. You've been injured ever since. But
yeah, not from then. So again, we'll put this on record. So for those of you who aren't aware, some of you will be like, "Yeah, he's made of biscuit." I was affectionately known as being made of biscuit by my own teammates for the amount of injuries I had, and I convinced myself I was going to retire from playing football after I folded my football club, because I went to go and join a team that went on to win a league and cup double 2 years in a row, and just before I signed for them, I dislocated my shoulder and missed the entire season that I was going to play for them. And I thought, you know what, I'm getting a bit fucking old for this in my early 30s. As a goalkeeper, I should be able to play until I'm in my 40s, but the key to that is staying fit, and that's something I've never achieved. So I retired, and then got dragged out of retirement at the start of the year, start of the summer, to go and play a corporate event at Bournemouth. Played exceptionally well, and I thought, this is a wonderful little swan song, a nice little farewell. I can put my gloves away, I can retire a happy man. And then I got the message in July, I think it was, June or July, from a former teammate. "Hey mate, can you come and help me play 6-a-side?" And I thought, you know what, last time I played, I was fucking brilliant. I'll be there. 2 minutes in, somebody absolutely fucking clattered me, and I broke my foot, and that was the end of it. And to this day, I had to get my boot cut off in A&E so they could do the X-ray, and to this day I've not bought new boots on the basis that if I don't replace them, I can't ever play again. So I'm officially retired because I'm too fragile.
We've heard it here now.
Yeah,
it's on record.
It's on record
now.
Record.
Wait, I've said that hundreds of times.
I could cut that bit out though.
That's making the cut now. That is straight on there.
It doesn't have to go in. But I don't even know where I was going with that. This is I've referenced this on every podcast. The joy of ADHD is I'll go on a ramble.
Yeah, I like
and
it.
I'll forget
That's
where
good.
I'm going with it. But so
we're back to golf. We're back to golf. We're going football.
We're back to golf. So we'll go back to where we're at. So talk me through the rest of your journey. You've gone and you've demonstrated to the world of Sunday League that for your lofty status like me, you're an exceptional goalkeeper, and an all-round top guy and a great drinker. And then at what point did you go, do you know what, I'm going back to golf? That industry that left me feeling ostracised, I'm gonna go and tackle it.
Do it. A weird one, really. It came from football. It did. I played Saturday League for a football team, and they all loved golf. They loved it, and I used to say to them, "Well, I used to play golf, blah blah blah. I haven't played now in 5, 6, 7 years." And they're like, "Come and play." And I was like, "No, I haven't got any golf clubs." Same as you. Like, you get rid of your stuff and go, "If I don't have clubs, don't need to play."
Yeah.
So I didn't do it. And they nagged. I eventually went out and played. And I thought, this is quite fun, actually. I gave a few tips to the guys, and it worked. And it kind of spiraled from there of going, okay, I'm still quite good at this.
Yeah.
So it happened. I wasn't in the golf world. I was a barber for a while. I went and travelled for a bit. So complete career change.
Yeah, I was going to say, your actual career journey is...
It's mad.
Like, jack of all trades. Is,
Where did I go? I worked at the golf club. I was a pro. Gave up that. Then worked in sales for years. I worked in customer service. I worked in marketing. I was a barber. I ran a training centre.
Because wasn't it your... If I remember correctly, your job in sales that got you into playing for Wimbledon with me?
Yes, it was. Mr. Cambers.
Yeah, there you go.
Steve, yeah. He still comes in now, a hero. Yeah, he dragged me along to a match, and then, we played. It's just a small world, isn't it?
Yeah.
Bloody bonkers. But, yeah, that kind of knocked on. But, yeah, COVID hit. And, again, probably same as everyone. COVID hit, barbers shut.
Yeah.
You sit there going, oh, Christ, what am I going to do now? And I just thought, I have to get my golf qualification again. So I did a bit of studying at home. Kind of got back into that. The clothing side came from it as well.
We'll touch upon that in a minute.
Yeah,
Cause
repping, like it.
Absolutely, you've got to. I'm the face. I'm the face.
You are the face.
Sure golf.
You are.
So
So yeah, that kind of hit, and then I retrained, got in touch with the golf club, and then started coaching when golf opened up, and I got lucky because golf boomed, didn't it? It went mad.
It's really crazy because exactly the same as you. Growing up, there was only one other friend of mine at the time that played golf, and he was incredibly good. He's worked within that industry. Yeah, he went off to Scotland and worked at clubs and was a teaching pro for a while, and he's gone all over the world with stuff to do with golf, and he was exceptionally good. And the irony is that when you become a teaching pro, I used to say to every time he came down, I was like, mate, let's play around a golf, or let's hit the driving range. And each time he would come down, he'd be like, do you know what, this is the first time I swung a club in like 9 months. I'm like, you're a fucking pro. And he's like, yeah, I'm a teaching pro, you don't play, like you just teach.
So many different levels of pros.
And I could never get my head around that he was a pro golfer that taught other people how to be good but never played the fucking sport. I'm like, that's the job I need. And for the record, that's not what's happening now with my fitness. By the way, I coach people and I still train. I haven't taken that to the to the forefront. But yeah, growing up, like, he was the only other person I knew that played golf, and he was, one of those annoying people that's great at everything that he did. But all of a sudden, I don't know what happened during COVID, but golf.
I'll tell you what happened.
Golf became cool.
Golf was cool. Golf is now cool. All the youngsters play. So the average golfer now is mid-30s.
Yeah.
That's the average age range for golfers. Like 10
Which
years
is young,
ago,
by the way, for anyone listening. Mid-30s, still young.
But like golf used to be like 60. Golf was the old man sport.
It was a retirement sport.
It was. Everyone, that's what they thought. Now the average golfer that plays is mid-30s, which is incredible.
Yeah.
Like, what a shift that is.
So what do you think's caused that?
I know what's caused it.
Well,
so COVID hit.
Yeah.
COVID hit. We're obviously locked down for God knows how long. That first one, we weren't allowed to bloody see anyone, were we? But outdoor sports came back. So tennis and golf were the first thing that were allowed to be open.
Yeah.
But at that stage, the restaurants were open, weren't they? So it was that eat out to
help out.
Yeah, whatever that killed everyone, didn't it? In the restaurant. So the restaurants and bars were open. So golf clubs had bars.
Yeah.
So what you could do is obviously the driving ranges are outdoors. If anyone's been, you just hit into an open field. So technically your class is outdoors, which meant in COVID land, you could mix in different households, groups. Can't get so many rules. So all the youngsters thought, oh, we'll just go and see our mates down at the driving range. We'll have a pint.
Yeah.
And then they hit golf balls and gone, this is actually all right.
Yeah.
And then they do that the next day. And then we were doing that for about a month or so because you couldn't play football, you couldn't play rugby, you weren't allowed in someone's house.
Yeah.
But
I always found that fucking weird when they started to integrate going back to playing Sunday League football again, and it was like, you can play, but you can't use the changing rooms. And so you're happy for us all to like basically be cuddling from a corner and be like on each other's toes and in each other's faces for 90 minutes. But you can't possibly get changed in the same space as somebody. I was like, that's fucking like... fine, say you can't have showers, but what difference does it make if you go in a changing room to change your kit, or if you do it by the side of the pitch? Because you're still going to spend 90 minutes sweating and breathing over somebody. But yeah, that was...
There was some funky rules.
It was a weird time. It was a weird time.
If golf was funky, no rakes. You weren't allowed to touch a rake, were you?
I remember that.
Yeah, the rakes weren't there. The flags had to have like a little scooper on. You weren't allowed to put your hands in the hole.
Yeah, I remember that because you weren't allowed to take the flag out. Yeah, like you said,
Yeah,
they
you
had to
can't
put
touch
the-
the flag. There was like a little
Yeah.
scooper in there that was weird that stopped the ball going in.
It's,
And yeah, they had a bit of sponge around some
I'd
of
have
the
been
courses.
I'd have been
didn't
a better golfer. I definitely would have
When-
sank more putts in the hole where you can't fucking put your hand in.
Well, when it first opened, you weren't actually, the ball wasn't allowed to go in the hole.
Yeah, you just got to get
you
close.
you had to hit the flag. So as long as you hit the flag, it counted as going in.
Mate, I'd
So
have
you
killed
just
it.
bash it.
My handicap now is floating around 10. I'd have been down to like a 3 or a 4.
Oh, you'd be straight down there.
Mate, I'd have been killing it. I can hit the fucking flag at pace.
That's it. It didn't matter. Yeah, how quick you just hit the flag. Yeah, there's some bonkers rules in golf. And well, in life there was. It was strange, but
Yeah, it was a fun time. But I mean, what a great
it opened
thing,
golf
obviously
up.
for you. Yes, it's kind of taken golf from being that weird retirement sport for men that hate their wives who are like, I'm just going to go and play golf today, and it's like 6 hours later you rock up back home again after a couple of pints and what happened to you? Thought you were playing golf. Like, yeah, it did.
Yeah, it did. That's it. No, I got lucky again, like I said, because I got into it at the right stage.
Yeah.
Luckily, I came from the marketing background from the job, so that helped. And yeah, I made the last minute decide to change my name to the Tattoo Golf Coach. So it was Harry Shaw Coaching, as every golf coach does. And I thought, let's try something different. And it was going to go one way or the other. I was either the knobhead that thought he was a really bad superhero, or I'm still the knobhead with a dodgy name, but everyone knows me as something different. For the first couple of years, no one knew what my name was. They had no idea I was called Harry.
I didn't really
it
know.
was the Tattoo Golf Coach. The quick cunt on the side.
Mate,
Just give it to him.
Is that rapid prick? The fast one, get him back.
Yeah, that one.
Cameras, who's your mate?
But no, it was good. So yeah, golf boomed, and it's just kicked on from there, and golf
Yeah.
is still growing, which is amazing, and it's changing, and that's the whole thing that I wanted to do. It needed to become more relaxed. It needed to become more fun.
Golf historically has not done itself any favours for a sport that theoretically should be very inclusive of people of all abilities, all ages,
All backgrounds.
all
That's the big
backgrounds.
thing, yeah.
It really hasn't been.
No.
It really hasn't been, and I'm all for keeping certain traditions in whether it's in sports, whether it's in life in general. I think there's certain traditions that should always be upheld, and I think there's something nice about recognizing the history of certain things. However, golf really ran with that concept for way too long, in that the traditions around what you could wear, who could play where, were just obscene, to the point where there were I remember growing up, there were genuinely jokes about the golf industry that were potentially sexist or like very potentially racist jokes and stuff. And the reason why it was funny is because you could guarantee that actually that could happen.
Yeah.
Like, there were genuinely courses where they would still be like, no, if you're not a white male, we can't play it.
Absolutely.
And it's like, it's a crazy place, because I think it's one of the few industries where it maintained those, I don't even want to call them standards. They're not. It's not even standards. Those beliefs or whatever you want to call it, that wasn't viewed as archaic. It was kind of just like accepted as like, that's okay.
That's it.
No,
Yeah.
it's golf. Like, that's what it's about. And you kind of look at it and you go, who's agreeing that? Who's okay in that? Who's looking at it and going, do you know what? Yeah, it's a game that everybody can play, but this course is only for very, very select people.
But unfortunately, it's still like that in places. It's a million times better. It really, really is. But there's still places that some people can't play, and you're not allowed because of this, that, and the other. And it's wrong, and it still is an expensive sport. It's getting better. You can do it in different ways. But again, a lot of people, you can't get into it. But yeah, the stories of like the background, the tradition's a tough one, and I love that subject, because golf has changed from tradition.
Yeah,
Used to use wooden clubs. Used to have to wear a suit to play golf, and we don't do that anymore. So tradition has changed.
Yeah.
But as you said, golf was so stuck in that way of no, it's tradition, but it's already lost where it started.
Yeah.
So how
I
was it there?
I love the concept of like paying reference to tradition and being aware of like the history of certain things. There's certain competitions, for example, where I absolutely fucking love it because it is traditional, and they have kept that theme running through, that you can look back 50, 60, 70, 80 plus years, and it's like, and it's not really changed, and you go, that's a brilliant thing. But there are sides to golf where you sit there and you think, at some point common sense has to step in and go, this is probably doing more harm than good.
Yeah.
And I get it. There are certain clubs that, courses, for those of you who I don't want to confuse golf clubs with golf clubs. Your bats that you hit the ball
The bats,
with
golf
golf clubs,
bats, yeah.
but also a golf club is the place where you go and play golf. And
Yeah.
there are certain clubs or certain courses which are very prestigious, and the membership fees are really high. And I get that you wouldn't perhaps open those up to everyday people. There's a lot of courses that I wouldn't even probably dare play because A, I'm not good enough and they're probably a little bit too technical, and B, I use the word cunt way too often to be in a situation where you're not supposed to. I always remember it fondly, I don't know if she would, but my ex came to Stir Marshall, and anyone listening who's like, what the fuck is Stir Marshall? It's a tiny little village near where I live where they've got a 9-hole course.
Called? Do you know what it's called?
It's called Stir Marshall.
No, what's the course actually called?
I don't know.
Dorset's Little Gem.
Oh yeah,
There
I thought
you
that was
go.
its tagline rather than its.
That's
but
what it's
either
called,
way.
yeah.
So I remember playing there with my best mate at the time. We used to go around there because his granddad lived over there, and my missus at the time came with me, and she wasn't even caddying. She didn't even carry the bag. I don't know what she was doing there, but basically I lined up this shot, and in my head I knew exactly what I was going to do. It was an 8-iron over the trees onto the green, and I was like, this is going to go so perfectly. Absolutely fucked my shot, which is a theme in the game of golf that I play. When I watch the professionals, they very rarely do it, but I seem to do it all the time, and I think they're missing out. So I fucked this shot completely. It did not go over the trees. It went into the trees, thick into some bushes, and I did the sensible, logical thing that any 19, 20-year-old would do. I picked up the club. Well, I didn't pick it up. It was already in my hands. I launched the club in anger towards my golf bag, which was laid on the floor. And obviously, I've got great distribution because I was a goalkeeper. So I hit my bag. No problems whatsoever. But I didn't hit it on the floor. I hit it more towards the top, and my club skimmed up off the bag, and it gained probably about 20 mile an hour of momentum and cannoned into the leg of my then girlfriend. To which she shouted, "You fucking cunt." Now, obviously, any sensible boyfriend would have gone, "Oh my God, are you okay?" But I'm aware of the traditions of golf. So I went, "You can't be shouting that on a course." And I mean, I'm amazed that wasn't the end of my relationship in that moment. But it's for reasons like that there are certain courses I wouldn't play at. And I fully respect that there are certain courses that you have to be a certain standard to play at. But I think as a sport, as an industry, it's kind of taken that sort of tiering system of, here's your elite courses where you do need to be a certain ability to play, or you do need to have a certain financial commitment to be able to play, and it's almost historically sort of whitewashed the entire sport with that sort of viewpoint. So a lot of people probably thought, I'd like to have a go at golf, but figured you have to be fairly well off, a little bit hoity-toity, and probably got put off by the aura that the game gave off at the time. So talk us through what you've been doing, because you've championed a lot in terms of trying to make the game more accessible to more people. Obviously we'll touch on Shore Clothing shortly, but which is a big factor in that. But
massively,
but talk us through sort of your passion for that, because that's one of the things that I love about all your social media and just what you've done in general. Obviously you've made local news, national news for what you do, and tell people about how you're trying to change the face of the game.
It's a tough one because I'm a small fish in a big pond. Harry in Bournemouth isn't doing a huge amount to the golf world in general, but it's a knock-on kind of effect. And I'd like to say I've got a lot of people in golf that wouldn't have played golf because of the branding and the name and this, which is amazing, which is great, and people enjoying it a lot more. I've always been different, always have been the black sheep. I don't follow trends, I never have done. So in the golf world, it was you had to follow trends, as we touched upon earlier. It's you have to wear that, and I didn't like it. So why do I have to do that? Like, why can't I do it this way?
Collared shirts.
I remember I played for the county, and I put a different hat on, and I was removed from the team and had to watch all day. So I didn't like the hat that they gave me, didn't fit me, so I wore my own hat, wasn't allowed. No, that's a no-go.
On a side note, I know how that feels on the basis I've got an unusually small head, so hats never fit me, so I'm all for not wearing the hat that doesn't fit. Fair play to you for that.
No, I remember one round as well, they gave me, you obviously could wear your team shirts, which I get, but they didn't have, I'm tiny, I had like a 3XL polo.
Yeah.
And it was raining in Cornwall, and as I swung, the club got stuck in my overhang of t-shirt, and I missed the ball. It was brilliant. It was so funny. But I looked at the bloke going, well, you're making me wear this. I can't move.
The irony is they'd probably be like really annoyed and irritated at you for a shit shot, despite the fact that actually the shot would have been fine had you been suitably dressed.
Literally, but you got to wear the right gear.
Yeah.
So no, yeah, my logic when I got back to golf was, well, how do you make golf fun?
Yeah.
Golf, as we speak about all the time, it is the most frustrating and stressful thing ever, but we love it.
It's the shittest and best sport in equal measure. It's the only sport I know where you can be playing amazing and then one shot derails an entire round, and on the flip side you can be having the shittest round ever, be literally minutes from contemplating like topping yourself. Literally, you hit one good shot and suddenly you're like, I'm Rory McIlroy.
That is it.
I'm the best around. It's the weirdest fucking sport. Like, every sport is psychological and every sport has an element of confidence to it, but golf is one of those weird sports where that confidence can be made or broken by one shot.
Yeah,
it's fucking weird.
One moment can, and it's fair play to the guys that are playing at that high level, because it is mad.
Well, yeah, because you see them hit shit shots, and like for me, I watch it and I go, that would be the end of that round. I'd be like fucking in the car like sulking, and they go and pull out some weird shot where they're playing it backwards with the back of the club like through their legs, and it's like they still hit it 200 yards and within 6 yards of the pin, and you go, how'd you do that? How'd you do that? I can't even play out of a bunker, and then this guy's playing out of a fucking forest. So
it's exciting to watch. It is. But no, my plan was to get people involved. You know what? Why is golf so great? And again, we spoke about all the time. Again, the mental health side's massive for golf. As much as it's frustrating, it's fresh air, it's the people you meet. I've met some incredible people through golf, as we all have, from different backgrounds, that you'd never meet. You would never mingle with these people. Some are in their local pubs at the weekend, some are travelling the world, and you come on the golf course and you're all the same. Yeah. And it's amazing.
I used to play up at a course called Dudsbury, which is no longer with us, sadly. But I remember being a teenager and I rocked up, ready for my tee time. There was a 4-ball in front of me, and it was Harry Redknapp and a few of his mates, and you just stood chatting to someone who's a genuine celebrity. He was the Spurs manager at the time. And you stood chatting to him, and you're like, oh, how you doing? He's like, yeah, all good. And the fucking arsehole made me tee off in front of him and all of his mates, and he was like, oh, you're on your own, like, we're just going to hold you up, you may as well play through now. And I'm like, oh, you sure? Hoping that they'd be like, no, we'll go. And first time I ever met Harry Redknapp, he made me tee off in front of him and all of his friends. Thankfully, it's one of the few times at Dudsbury I absolutely nailed my tee shot. So I strutted off. Had to be careful because I very nearly walked after the shot, forgetting the fact that I also had to carry my own gloves. I'd have looked like a proper twat if I'd have got halfway down the fairway and had to come back to get my bag. But yeah, it's one of those weird sports where, considering how archaic it can be and how sort of classist it can be, at the same time, when you rock up at a course, you could be rubbing shoulders with literally anyone, and suddenly that barrier is just completely gone. Completely disappeared, and everybody appreciates that golf is like one of the great levelers, in that anyone who is anyone can be great and shit within 5 minutes of each other. So it kind of like, you get that mutual appreciation. There's
like a massive link between, we'll get this, goalkeepers and golfers. Because you're on your own, it's that individual position. We're goalkeepers are different breeds. We're not classed as footballers, in my opinion. We're different. No one understands us. Same as golfers. So you have that golfer code, where we all know how bad and stressful and golf is. Like, you go home to your missus and they don't understand. How's golf? Oh, shit, but this happened. And they're like, well, why'd you play? Like, your club's in half.
Why'd you keep doing it?
Why'd you keep going then? Well, but I love it, and I'm going again tomorrow morning. And it's same as being a goalkeeper.
I used to get that every Sunday. If we'd lost, particularly if I hadn't played very well, if I'd made like a couple of mistakes or whatever, you come home and I'd be in a fucking terrible mood. Really, really bad mood. And my other half, like, she's fucking amazing, bless her, but she'd be like, oh, why'd you keep doing it? Well, because I fucking love it.
Yeah, I can't wait for next week.
Like, you don't look like you do. Like, well, no, I don't right now, obviously. I don't like making mistakes, but I fucking love it. Like,
it's that passion on your own, and that's what goalkeeping golf is. You can't blame anyone else. It's all you. You're in your own head. And in one way, it's a good thing, and it does it. It helps you out in life massively.
The weird thing is, with both golfers as in the last few years has definitely achieved this, but certainly goalkeeping, definitely did. There was a period of time I was going. I've spoken about on previous podcasts. I was in a terrible place with my mental health. I was going through some awful shit, and football that was my therapy. I didn't need to go to like counselling, and I didn't need to go have CBT and stuff, because every Saturday or every Sunday, I had 90 minutes alone with myself where I could just process stuff.
Yep.
And people probably thought I was fucking mental, because if they were close enough to me, if the game was being played mostly in our half, my defenders probably heard me just stood talking away to myself, having conversation with myself, just rationalising shit that was going on. And it's the same on a golf course.
Yeah.
You're able to process stuff and just talk through things either in your head or out loud. But it's actually, that's not your main focus. But your main focus is the game. You're playing your next shot, what you're going to do, your approach play. And if you're a good golfer, you really think about that. If you're me, you go, ooh, 7-iron. But you still have an idea in your head of what you want to do. And that's kind of your primary focus. And it allows you to subconsciously just decompress and process anything that's going on. And I genuinely think golf is one of those games that if you get into it, it can be a great social aspect, because you can go with a group of you, and you have plenty of moments where you laugh and joke together, but you get plenty of moments on your own where you can just, in a really low pressure environment, just exist and just be and just kind of like forget everything that's going on, or take it as an opportunity to process it in an environment where you're outside. Typically, if you're a sensible golfer like me, the sun will be shining, it'll be warm weather. I don't tend to play when it's too cold or too wet or too windy.
No,
because I'm not a pro. Why would I want to play in these shit conditions when I can just go when it's nice? But I genuinely think it's one of those. It's one of the few sports where it gives you the opportunity to both be social, but also to have like quality time with yourself. And I think that's. It's one of the reasons why it's been such a shame that over the years that golf has kind of been almost this gated community.
Yeah,
it's like a members only club, and it's like actually it's one of the greatest activities you can do if you want to work on your mental health and your physical health at the same time.
It's just day-to-day life, isn't it? It's respect in golf as well. There is again the golfer's respect of you shake each other's hands still, and I think for kids to learn it is what we need to do. Unfortunately, football now is just a joke. That you roll on the floor, you tell everyone to fuck off. The ref's the enemy number one, and you're thinking, well, how's that happened? Rugby's not like that.
It's weird.
Why are we growing up calling someone a twat that's actually controlling the game? If he wasn't there, you can't play.
Yeah. Admittedly, if you've ever played Sunday League, it's completely justified.
Sadly, we've all called a ref a twat, so apologies, and it will happen
justified.
again. But
I mean, on that point, I still remember one of the finest memories of playing Sunday League football. This was unfortunately long after Harry had stopped playing for my team. We had two brothers that played for us, Tom and Jack, and the referee made an awful decision, a fucking terrible decision. So Tom is just going at the referee, and this was just after they brought in sin bins at Sunday League level, which is basically if you show dissent, you have to take 10 minutes off the pitch. And Tom is just laying into this referee, and he goes, right, that's it, 10 minutes in the sin bin. So his brother steps in to fight his corner, and he goes, ref, to be fair, I was 60 yards away, and even I can see it was a fucking shit decision, you absolute twat. And he went, right, you're in the bin as well. To which, without skipping a beat, Jack went, yeah, fair one, and just walked off happily. And it just summarised Sunday League football at its best. Yeah. A terrible refereeing decision, followed by the fact that if you put a bunch of blokes on a football pitch, they just turn into absolute animals and have the inability to have a structured conversation. Yet if that was a rugby pitch, even at the same standard, and the referee made an error, the players aggrieved would turn to their captain and be like, can you have a word? And they go up and they go, ref, can you explain the situation? Talk us through that. Yep. I don't agree with it. And then the referee, he'd explain it, and they go, okay, yeah, no, it's fine. Guys, this is what he said. And like the utmost respect would be upheld. And I'm like, how is it that football is just falling into disrepair?
It's just mad.
But I mean, the standard of refereeing is fucking terrible. But I think that's an entire podcast for another day. We'll get you back on.
Someone's got a ref. That's my opinion on it. So fair play to these blokes that rock.
My old man used to ref for us a few times, and he was hilarious to watch ref. But you probably saw him ref a couple of games, to be fair.
Probably told him fuck off a few times as well. But hey,
no, he was always very good to our players. It was the opposition that seemed to have issues with him. But
no, yeah, you're right on the golfing aspect. It's that time. It's life. It's my biggest advice to anyone. If anyone is a golfer, is leave your phone in your car. Yeah. Don't take your phone with you. And that's where things go wrong on the golf course for kind of mental side as well, but also playing side. Because if you can go on the course and chat to your three mates and say have the time on your own, you're good.
It's therapy at the end of the day.
As soon as that phone comes out, you're in
I've
trouble.
always maintained that any and again, it's an opinion. There's no science behind it. There probably is studies that show correlations, but I genuinely believe if you get from a young age into sport, you learn resilience, you learn discipline, you learn competition, you learn humility, you learn how to be humble in victory, gracious in defeat, and gracious in victory and humble in defeat, whichever way around it is, probably a bit of both. But you learn these life skills that set you up. And I do completely agree. Football nowadays, you watch it on TV. There isn't respect for the authority in the game. Probably isn't helped by the fact the authority in the game is fucking terrible. But if you take football out of the mix and you look at every other sport, there is an absolute utmost respect for the authority figure in rugby. Tennis at times, obviously, that you get there's some characters that push the boundaries with the umpires, but even tennis is still very much the umpire's call is the law. Golf is the same. The amount of times I've seen on professional tours where there's been a situation that's happened and a course steward has intervened and brought a rule, there's no arguments. Whether it seemed harsh or not, there's no arguments. And I can't remember who it was. It was earlier this year. There was somebody who I'm pretty sure they played a shot, they finished the hole, and then their caddy raised a concern. So they went to a steward and said, look, can you go back and look at this? Because we don't know whether actually what we put on the scorecard is correct or if we need to add a shot. And it's things like that are to any sports person are completely normal, that you have this respect for the laws, for the rules of the game. And I think so much gets lost by not getting involved in sport in general at a young age, because you don't learn those things. You don't learn the fact that actually it doesn't matter how much you want something. Sometimes things do not go in your favour, and you have to learn how to accept that. And sport is the greatest way to learn that in a great environment. Team sports are even better in that you learn how to be part of a team and not to be such a lone wolf. But at the same time, obviously keeping things pro golf. Like we said, I think with what you learn with golf, particularly if you're in your teens, your 20s, your early 30s, and you want something to do that's a social that you can do with your mates, like golf is the best fucking, in my opinion, it's the best sport you can get into. It's expensive, but I mean, it doesn't have to be. You can get some shit clubs. I mean, obviously you sorted me out a new set of clubs recently, but until then I'd been using the same set of Slazengers from when I was 17.
There's ways into it, which is great, and it doesn't, you don't have to spend a fortune. But no, you nailed it. I think getting kids involved in golf is so important, because unfortunately some kids aren't naturally sportsmen, sportswomen, sports backgrounds. Unfortunately, when you're not very good at football, you're screwed, because you don't get picked for teams. Sadly no one wants you. Same as rugby, same as tennis.
It's the same at schools. The main sports are basically football's the number one, rugby's the second one, and then some schools do tennis and cricket. Yeah. And if you're not good at any of those, it's
you're
kind
screwed,
of like,
aren't you?
You must be an academic. You must be good at maths.
But some kids just aren't naturally good at that, and that's fine. We're not all. But I think golf is something everyone can learn. Yes, there's different abilities, but no one's come through the door that I've taught and thought like you physically can't hit a ball. You will learn and you'll get it and you'll enjoy it.
I mean, you took me on.
You're right. You're early coaching, but it's that everyone's a different level. Some people are just happy to hit the ball. Some people, and then once you hit the ball, you want to hit it further. And then once you do that, and
there's
it's
a great addiction with golf, and I use that word loosely because obviously addiction has many negative connotations to it. But there is a great addiction with golf in that once you start, the desire and the want to get better captivates everybody. It only takes one good shot and suddenly you're hooked. And you see it all the time. Like golf's massive on social media now. The amount of pages of people who are documenting their golf journey and stuff, and it's like there are people with infinite more followers than me and more views than me, and all they ever post is shit rounds of golf, and I sit there and I think I do that all the time. Maybe I'm missing the trick.
You are, in the wrong business now.
But it highlights something that golf has that no other sport actually has, and that's the fact that you only have to do it good once, and that's it. You are addicted to it. You are hooked. You are in, and you're entrenched. Like my best friend Roxy, we play quite often, and I remember the first time that she started playing, like she was playing with her dad and her brother and stuff, and we'd go to the driving range, and by her own admissions, like she was not a good golfer, like she wasn't. But the minute she started hitting a couple of good shots, she's like, I'm gonna get out on the course. And like we play all the time now, and it's like it's ridiculous. You look at it and you go, well, like that's happened purely because she got that buzz of hitting like one good shot. JB that we used to play football with, like he's playing off a ridiculously low handicap these days. I played golf with him the first time he ever hit a golf ball, and it was down at Iford, and it was a work team like golf session, and he almost beat me that day on the basis that all he tried to do was just hit the ball straight. He wasn't trying to hit it hard, wasn't trying to hit it far. I was trying to play the course and kept fucking shanking it and hitting shit shot after shit shot, and he was just playing the percentages. And fast forward, it hurts me to say it, it's well over 10 years. It's probably getting
you're counting them, weren't you?
Yeah, it's probably getting close to 15 years, I reckon, maybe more, something like that. But played golf with him recently, and like he's an unbelievably good golfer. And you think back and you go, what? He got the bug because he came and he played, having never played before, borrowed clubs, and got that excitement of, oh, I just hit that really well.
Yep.
And I think it's one of the few sports that you don't have to have a natural level of ability to get good at golf.
No.
It's one of those where you just practice and you play and you gradually get better, and you get addicted to every good shot, and you ignore the 40, 50, 60, 70 shit shots in between.
You play at your ability in golf, and that's the best thing. It's obviously football is you're in a team with the same abilities normally, so you try and work your way up and vice versa. But at golf, it doesn't matter. You can have four.
With the exception of you and I, we were always exceptionally better than the teams we played in.
Oh, not sure about that.
I was. But at least that's what I had to tell myself.
But no, you can go out, 4 golfers can go out at 4 different abilities and have a great time.
Yeah.
And that's what it's all about.
And there's that mutual respect because everybody knows how hard it is to hit a good shot. So even if you're playing around with somebody who is nowhere near the consistent level that you're at, you see them hit a good shot and you're just as excited about it as they are. In the same way that when I watch golf, like people go, oh, how do you watch golf? Honestly, in my opinion, there is nothing more satisfying than seeing somebody hit a perfect fucking shot every single time on the basis that I've been on the range and I've hit, out of 100 balls, I've hit a load absolutely perfect and gone on the course the next day thinking I'm going to be great and hit 1 out of about 70 shots that was good.
But you remember that one?
Yeah.
That's it.
But mate, I still remember. So I played a round. Oh, I played with JB most recently, and for 8 holes I was absolutely terrible. It looked like I'd never played the game before. I genuinely think I'd have been better holding the head of the club than the grip. But that round turned around. I hit 1 good shot, and then for the back 9 I was back to my normal self. But I remember playing a round. It was when I used to live in Surrey, and the people I worked with all play golf. And in the summer they used to go and they tee off at 5 a.m. and get a round in before work, and they're like, oh, come play with us. So I was like, yeah, okay. And I was awful the entire round until the 18th, and I hit a perfect tee shot, perfect second shot into the green, putted in for birdie, and it was one of the worst rounds I'd ever played. And I tried to like keep it really chill and be like, oh, I just haven't played for a while. But even when I think back to that round, when we got to the office, all we were speaking about was how well I played the 18th.
Yeah, that's it.
I had 17 shit holes. I must have taken about 140 shots that day. But
all
we spoke about were the 3 good shots that I had at the end. And it's like, I love that about the sport, is that it's so easy to get wrapped up in it.
Yeah,
for anyone.
It's addictive. Everyone, you learn to play it, then you're buying clubs, you're buying clothes, you're buying this, you're buying balls, and then your social media feed is just golf, and you just get hooked, and it's amazing. It's really, really good to see.
Yeah,
and hopefully golf just keeps growing. But it's the age range. We need the younger golfers coming through that then take charge of the clubs.
Yeah.
And then when the younger guys are in charge, the new traditions come in.
Yeah. And
then it's only going to get better.
So, I mean, that leads us really nicely onto what you've been doing in terms of shore golf. So we referenced it. Obviously, I'm the. Is it official? Is it unofficial?
You are the model. Yeah, you're at the moment. Yeah, contract pending. Oh, look at the sad look in your eyes now.
We're going to cut that shit out. The official face.
You are. The last 2 years, you've been the face of shore golf, haven't you?
I have indeed. And
we couldn't find anyone else, so we did it.
That was available for a modest budget of free. But yeah, so talk us through shore golf. Like, obviously, for those of you who don't know, go and check them out. That obviously it's at shore golf.
It is, yeah. Shore golf clothing. We are
shore golf clothing,
yeah.
On social media. It's basically, without doing it injustice, it's making golf clothing fun, more accessible to all, and trying to get rid of some of those traditions that are just a bit archaic and a bit shit. So give us the full spiel and talk us how that came about.
Yeah, so the idea of short golf is what was to make golf more fun and wear clothes that was more comfortable and a little bit out there. Golf was always, again, the stereotypical boring, dull colours, and it still is.
Well, it always reminds me of the In-Betweeners scene. Where Simon's obviously dressed to go and play golf, and they're like, and Neil goes, "Oh, my cousin dressed like that." And he goes, "Oh, is he a golfer?" No, he's got Down syndrome. and it's true, like, but it's true though. Like, that was the perception. If you play golf, you dress like a boring old bastard. Like,
unfortunately, yeah, and it still is in
Chinos
some places,
and polo
but
shirts.
It's getting better. Yeah, we've obviously launched like joggers and hoodies and collarless polos and stuff, which is becoming more of an acceptable thing. Golf clothing's got a long way to go. We could spend hours talking about this, so we'll try not to, because it drives me mad.
It's golf clothing's a bit of a funny one though, isn't it? Because the difference between what men and women can wear is quite significant, in that for men it's remained completely traditional. It's, you know, it's collared polo shirts, it's tailored shorts, it's trousers, and that's all you've got a choice of. Women can obviously have sleeves, no sleeves, and I do find it mildly amusing that if you're a female golfer, you can wear quite a short skirt with a sleeveless top, perfectly acceptable. You look like a smart golfess. If you're a guy and you turn up and you're in a drop sleeve vest, effectively, even if it's got a nice collar and it's got, you know, a brand that is a golf brand on it, there are a lot of courses that be like, no, sorry, your shoulders are showing. Okay. And it's like, I don't know what difference it makes.
The clothing side baffles me. In my opinion, I don't care what anyone wears.
It's the weirdest tradition, because it reminds me of the corporate world. In that, when I worked in the corporate world, I worked for a company for a while. I won't name drop them. It rhymes with but they launched their own like branded polo shirts, and they took great pleasure in taking 30 quid out of everybody's wages so you could get a free polo shirt which you just paid for. And I used to wear mine in the office. I wouldn't wear it when I was out on client meetings, because obviously client meetings it was suit and a boot, shirt, tie, full suit and what have you. I fully respected that. But if I was in the office, particularly on a Friday, I'd wear my work polo shirt with a smart pair of trousers. And I got dragged into a meeting with one of their corporate directors, and he started having a go at me because my tattoos were on show. Now, bear in mind, the sales director had full sleeve tattoos, and if he was in the office would often wear short sleeve t-shirts or his work polo shirt, and it was fine for him. And I was like, oh well, I'm wearing my company branded shirt, I'm not in front of customers, I'm in the office, so I didn't realise it was a problem. And after that meeting, got an email from HR where they'd highlighted quite wonderfully the company's policy on visible tattoos, and you sit there and you think, what the fuck are we doing?
Yeah,
my ability to do my job doesn't get better or worse depending on how much of my tattoos are visible. But golf is very, very similar in that it's very strict to traditions.
Golf was like that. It was with tattoos. Yeah, that was a no-go. Yeah, you had to hide them and cover them and whatnot.
I'll be wearing 2 gloves.
Well, yeah, I had to wear long sleeves all the time, and if it popped out, you're in trouble. And same as like the clothing. Yeah, numerous times you get pulled into this, can't do this, can't do that, and I know, I get it, like, you want to look smart on the golf course and things, but I don't care what people wear. In my opinion, if you play golf, you play golf. I don't care if you want to wear a bloody thong, or if you want to wear a pair of jeans, it's fine. But everyone, when you open this debate up onto the social world of keyboard warriors, you just go, well, I don't want to see someone wear a mankini and play golf. Who the fuck's going to wear a mankini and play golf?
Yeah.
Why? That's not your go-to clothing. No one goes to a football match and wears that, do they? So they put the correct attire on.
Yeah, you're going to wear what you're going to feel you're going to be able to play well in. Like, you want stuff that's got a good amount of movement to it. But
it's common sense. So
yeah, wanting freedom of movement, it's quite a leap to go from. Well, I don't want my
there's plenty of freedom of movement in your mankini.
Yeah, I don't want my t-shirt to be too restrictive because I want to be able to get good rotation. I'm not going to jump from that to, well, actually, a good option would be a mankini.
This is it, and it blows my mind because you think no one's going to wear that, so don't worry about it. And it's like, if someone wants to wear a pair of jeans, wear a pair of jeans. I don't care. You're sweating your fucking balls off over there. I don't care.
It's the same and I've seen it a few times. You see people in the gym wearing like jeans or general like normal clothes in the gym to train in, and instantly I think that's not that can't be practical. But at the same time, like if that's what you want to do,
hey, they're in the gym.
you crack
Fair
on.
play.
You crack on. If you feel comfortable in that, crack on. And I do really like, actually, there's a lot of courses around us, obviously Parley, where you work, that are taking that approach now, where they're not really strict on it. They want to be an inclusive course. They want people of all abilities to come and play, and they want to just help people enjoy it. Stir is very similar in that, which again, it's another reason why I like it. And I think it's a step that needs to be taken. There needs to be more courses that go, actually, do you know what, we'd rather have every tee slot of the day booked up with people coming to enjoy the game of golf on a nice day, than have 50% of them not booked because people either feel like they haven't got the right clothes, or they're too, or they feel like they don't fit on the course. And I still to this day find it bizarre the couple of times when I've gone to other courses and you turn up and I've been wearing a Shore Golf shirt, and I've also got some Royal and Awesome trousers which are bright pink and covered in aliens, and I've rocked up at courses before and people kind of look at you as if to be like, oh, are you seriously wearing that? And you go, I'm here to have a bit of fucking fun. Do you know what I mean? It's 4 hours that I'm taking out of my day to go and
you're enjoying yourself. You're expressing yourself, enjoying it, and that's what it should be. And people do get nervous and paranoid when they go to clubs and you go, oh, should I really wear this? And the tattoos on show sometimes, and the clothing, and why are you doing that? Like, it's wear what you want to wear, enjoy yourself. In my eyes, I know we keep talking about golf as a sport. I don't think golf could be a sport until you can wear sportswear.
Yeah.
And I will fight that battle as a golf pro in the golfing industry. It's not sport. I cannot rock up to the golf course in a pair of shorts and t-shirt that I'd wear to the gym, and they wouldn't let me play. It's not sport.
Yep. Or what you can do, though, is you can get some of the Shore Golf gym wear clothing, and you can wear that to the gym.
But you can't wear it on the golf course.
You can't wear it on the golf course, but you could wear it on the driving range. But you can't wear it on the course, but you can wear it to the gym. So.
But this is the mad thing. The pros now, the high-end PJ pros, they will wear gym clothes at the range.
Yeah.
So what's the difference?
I have noticed a little bit of a trend, though, with certain things, that it takes for pros to kind of push the boundaries a little bit before things get accepted. Because I think back to golf shoes, for example, when I was a kid, teenager, golf shoes pretty much all looked identical. Nowadays, you've got pretty much every form of trainer you can imagine is available as a golf shoe.
Yeah.
And it just takes those little shifts where the big sports brands who are obviously endorsing certain players go, we've developed this.
Yep.
And it's a shame in a way, because you'd actually think that the sport would probably develop far quicker and there'd be a greater run of people coming through if those kind of changes came from the bottom up rather than the top down. But you do notice those little changes, and hopefully it's not going to be too long before you see certain competitions on certain tours where players turn up and they're wearing more athletic wear rather than golf specific stuff. And I do like to keep, I do love the traditions. I do like that there are specific golf clothing. I like going to pro shops and obviously like with the Shore Golf stuff, I love all the polos and stuff. But I think there can be so much more done to make like you said, to make it more active wear and make it more relevant for the fact that the sport has developed into it's a proper sport now. Like to play it, like
should be.
But if you want to compete at the top, for example, like it is. These people
it's
are
gym,
they
it's
are
diet, it's
they are at the pinnacle. It used to you go back to when we were kids, and it's kind of like most golfers were like the capital D, and what have you. Now it's like if you're not in the top physical condition, you just can't compete. And you think the sport has developed to that point where it is, from a professional perspective, it is an elite sport.
Yeah,
they are elite athletes, both 100%. Mentally, physically, every aspect is monitored and trained and improved on and worked on. And it does still seem strange that, considering that they are elite athletes, that what they wear on the course perhaps is not it's not ideal. It's in my opinion, it's the equivalent when you look at like the gymnasts at the Olympics. They wear obviously like fucking skins height shit because they're doing lots of flips and stuff. It's the equivalent of putting them in chinos and a polo shirt, in my opinion. And
because it's smart.
You look really great. Yeah, I know, but I'm about to go on the beam and I'm about to do like a 720 on my fucking handstand fucking form and all this shit. Yeah, but we want you to look smart. Like you just wouldn't do it. Every other sport recognises that, what you wear has a big impact on how you perform. Even football is, you look at it, obviously if you go far enough back, they used to wear like fucking trousers and shit, but you look at it in the 90s everybody had big, square, massive, like, parachute shirts, basically.
Yeah,
it was
big
like
shirts,
one size
big
fits
shin
all.
pads, big short, or tight shorts as well. It was back in the 80s, wasn't it? And it
and
shifts.
then it became long shorts. But you look at it now, and it's like everything's all about performance. It's about, like, you know, the shirts need to be tight enough that there's no drag, but not so tight that you can't move. And it's like every other sport has developed what they wear to optimize performance. In golf, it's still like, we want you to look smart.
Yeah, it's still a bit there, which is a shame. But it's getting there. You nailed it earlier. It has to come from the top. I say, no matter how many little people like me in the golf world can push it, we're nothing. Absolute nothing. Tyrrell Hatton did it years ago, wore a hoodie and won the event. Hoodies are now perfectly legal in every golf course. And that the week before it wasn't.
Yeah.
But it's still not, it's not there. I mean, Jason Day wore a vest at one of the events. I think it was the Masters this year, and he got told to take it off.
Yeah,
because it had massive branding on the front. It was not caused any harm to anyone. It was quite a nice kind of vest. It
Unless
probably
it's
cost
got
far
an
too much
offensive
money.
slogan on it.
It just had Melbourne written on it. That was their branding, and like, marketing genius, whoever did that.
Yeah.
So tips off to them. But he got told to take it off after 3 holes because it was too much branding.
It's the irony, though, that they waited till after 3 holes.
Yeah. They saw him at the range, and it was the talk of that was the talk of the Masters for 3 hours.
It's like they let it rumble on enough, and then went, right, you can go and take it off now.
Yeah. But you think, well, what he's wearing the talk of golf?
There was a similar incident in so my family were big Speedway fans, and there was a similar incident in the World Championships this year at one of the Grand Prix. They all have to wear race suits that have got the official sponsorship of the company that sponsors the Speedway Grand Prix, and the guy who's the current World Championship world title holder, I think it was last year rather than this year actually. He was reigning world champion, 3 Grand Prix away from the end of the season, top of the standings, went out for like practice in the qualifiers in a race suit that didn't have the correct branding on it. So he then got kicked out of the Grand Prix altogether. And you sit there and you go, firstly, who is it that let him go out in that?
Yeah.
Without saying, mate, that's not the right race suit.
Probably shouldn't wear that, yeah.
But also, in practice, what does it fucking matter? Like,
funny,
I get it when it's the actual Grand Prix because you want all the sponsorship, you've got all the endorsements and stuff. But when it's effectively behind closed doors practice, who gives a fuck? And it's the same with golf. It's like nobody's watching golf and is going to be like, I'm going to turn off because he's got his arms out. Nobody's going to do that. Like you watch it because you want to see your favourite golfer do well, or you want to see the golfer that you don't like hopefully have a shit round. Whatever your motivation is for watching, like you don't tune in the hope that you get to see some nice polo shirts with very subtle branding.
This is it. No one watches it. I can't wait for the first Tour Pro to win that's covered in tattoos.
Yeah,
I can't wait for that because the media is gonna go mad because no one's won anything with sleeves. Yeah, these guys have small tattoos now, but no one's covered like say you and I and
because there's a couple of golfers that when it got brought into the Olympics got like the Olympic rings.
There's a lot of patchy kind of this, and you can see a few, but no one's sleeve, arms, neck, face, which it will happen because the younger generation now is that's what.
Well, mate, I'm getting so good. It's not long until it's me, is it?
But that's what I can't wait because I guarantee that world will just erupt.
Yeah,
and it will be amazing. So hopefully some youngsters coming through go and get loads of tattoos, go and get really good at golf, and then go and win. Yeah, good advice that, isn't it?
100%.
Mums and dads are loving that.
Yeah. what a note to end it on. But I'm conscious we could chat for fucking hours about this.
Couldn't we? Yeah.
So what's next for you? Like where are you going next? Because I know you've made a couple of decisions lately in terms of your own playing career. So what's next for you?
No more playing for me. Sadly, I think the run of playing is come to an end because I just haven't been good enough. I've just been shit, in the honest truth.
I know how that feels.
I coach full time, as you know. I run the clothing brand. I do golf travel, so it's the same thing for me. I'll be pushing golf in the fun areas. Golf travel is a big one that I love because it gets people together abroad in the sun, mojitos in hand, and we run a big trip every year of 36 golfers, completely different golfers. We put them all in the same place, all in the same restaurants, all in the same bars, and you meet friends for life.
Yeah,
and that to me is what golf is. So I will keep pushing that as much as I can. And hopefully it's just a knock-on effect.
Love it.
And we're going to get you on the tour, and we're going to carry your bag. There'll be 2 tattooed freaks out on the golf course.
There we go. We'll take the world by storm if my knees can hold up. Are you allowed to go around in a buggy if you're a pro golfer?
If you're officially injured, you can.
Perfect.
Yeah, medical injury.
Yeah,
John Daly, Tiger now, they rock around in the buggy.
Perfect. That's fine.
We'll take them down, shall we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I reckon I can get there. Mate, this has been awesome. Like I said, we could probably chat for hours. If you're not following Harry, go and check him out. He's the tattoo golf coach. Go check out his clothing as well. If you play golf and you don't want to keep turning up looking like you've got Down syndrome, according to the in-betweeners, go and check out his stuff. Honestly, I'm not just saying it's amazing because I'm the face of it and he gives me stuff that it genuinely is. Like, nothing's better than tipping up on a summer's day in a brightly coloured shirt that just makes you feel good. And like I always say, look good, play good.
Look good, play shit.
Yeah, I mean, that's normally
play
what
shit, look
transpires.
good.
yeah, bit of both. But mate, this has been amazing. So thanks for coming on.
Pleasure, mate.
I'm sure we'll get you on again.
Yeah,
and
continue the chats.
Tune in for the next episode.